I had to tune my own guitar to D-A-D, G-A-D for one song, and then he'll have to do all the talking while I fix it.
I think that's in Flabdarf instead of Dad at this point.
There's an R now?
Well, yeah, the last string is really out of tune. The B string is really out of tune. It's an R.
Flabdarf.
Flabdarf.
It's the new tuning that very few people are using, but it's big in French Polynesia.
Says we could use a vocal boost.
Turn 'em up, buddy!
But not a piano boost or a guitar boost, just vocal boost.
Vocal boost! Vocal boost! We are turning up for a vocal boost! Vocal boost, boost, vocal boost up the vocal! Can you hear the vocals? Can you hear the vocals?
That apparently summoned Anne-Marie.
Well, that is the Anne-Marie summoning song. Can you hear the vocals?
Yes.
Subtitle vocal boost.
Let's see how this goes.
So we are largely, it's kind of an interesting, like, almost double theme. We were just sort of looking at the state of the world and the state of the union, as it were, and started thinking about our one of our favorite bands, Frightened Rabbit, and how, even though a lot of these songs were written 10, 15 years ago, they're very, very poignant now. And
yes.
So we it's going to be a Scott Hutchison heavy set today, but that's also not really the theme.
It's interesting.
Sort of.
It just happened to be the person that wrote almost all of the songs.
Yeah, and so it's a little
happened
bit
to be
of
about
both.
something else.
and Matt was he said he was thinking about Scott, and that tends to happen. He was a very impactful lyricist, especially, but I mean the songs are just great. So we're going to talk about a few different themes, and they all sort of tie in a way, but we're going to start with a tune called The Modern Leper, which I did a little looking into to see exactly what was on his mind in this song. And the song is about a guy who just doesn't belong in society. He looks around and he feels like his relationships are failing, and he's just this outcast from society. But in the middle of it, he also...
It's like he gets caught in the loop with another person that he's singing about. Like, oh, it's you again.
Yeah.
You're coming back to me again.
Mm-hmm.
Are you nuts?
Exactly, 100%. What is wrong with you that you would love me?
Yes.
It's like part of one of the themes of this song,
Yeah.
which is heavy stuff. Scott had a lot of depression and issues with his self-worth and everything, but it also...
Such a joyful song at the end.
Yeah, and it paints these little tones of, I'm going to do better. Like, and here's where we've got each other, and
we're going to see each other on this loop one more time.
Yeah.
And you do, and then they do.
And I'm not sick and you're not dead. Doesn't that make us the perfect pair? Yeah.
It's just
so it's
beautiful lyric writing.
Does have some...
you and me starting again.
Yeah, you can tell me all about what you did today. So mundane, but so beautiful.
Yes.
So this song is The Modern Leper. This is going to be the first one. And it goes in Dadgad like this. We're going to turn that on first. Walks amongst you, all you tired human beings. He's got all the things a cripple has, not two working arms and legs. And vital parts fall from a system and dissolve in Scottish rain. And finally, he doesn't miss them, he's too messed up to care. Is that you in front of me? Coming back for even more of exactly the same. Are you a masochist to love a modern leper on his last leg? On his last leg. I still can't work out why. See, I've got this disease that I can't shake, and I'm just rattling through life. Well, this is how we do things now, yeah, this is how the modern stay scared. Well, I cut off all the good stuff, yeah, I cut off my foot despite my coming back for even more. I'm exactly the same. Yeah, I am a masochist to love a modern leather on this last leg. I'm not ill and I'm not dead. I don't know which of these I prefer. 'Cause this limb which I have lost, it was the only thing holding me up, holding me up. Lying on the ground now and you're walking out the only door. Yeah, I lost my eyesight like I said I would, but still I know that it's you in front of me. Now you're back for even more. I'm exactly the same. I am a masochist to love a modern leather on this last leg. I'm not ill, you're not dead. Doesn't that make us the perfect pair? It's you and me, we start again. You can tell me all about what you did today. What you did today.
You know, and it's to encapsulate again, Scott is a very haunted, sad, depressed human being that found these moments of joy in some of these songs where a lot of it's very Schadenfreude, a lot of melancholy, but then he can hit these little peaks in there where it's just like, hey, you and me, we're going through this again. Oh, let's go through this again. This is fantastic. You know.
We're getting trolled by my mom. Did you see this?
What?
Says wow, balanced sound and I think she's actually being nice, but I just read it with sarcasm for some reason. Oh,
right.
wow, way to go, guys.
You guys did it both right tonight. Oh, it's wonderful. You missed the beginning, perhaps, where we have new equipment that Sean replaced his laptop and that fixed our video problem. Not that it wasn't kind of funny going like this, you know, but we all know that you guys are here to look at Sean, not listen to us. So
whatever was happening with that laptop, when we would stream, it would spike my CPU up into like the 80 to 85%, whereas this one is currently at 13%. Has returned.
Non-pirate tuning, Anne-Marie. Back to it.
Tune back, and then the strings you didn't tune go out of tune because the whole stretching of the instrument is different. So this next song, is gonna be another Frightened Rabbit song, another Scott Hutchison classic. This one's called Backwards Walk, which kind of hits into that same general feeling of. So I was reading about this one, and he. Say he had broken up, he had a failed relationship, and they had broken up, and he was so sad and just like devastated and upset by this whole thing. And he said the thing that made him the most upset was it was all his own fault, and he knew it, but just couldn't do anything about it in the moment. And just so the backwards walk
Interesting.
So this song, but again, he talks about all these horrible things that he does, like just trying to get obliterated drunk to forget and all these things and how he just like can't have this relationship, can't make it work. But he also talks in here about he's working on his faults and cracks.
Yes.
He's trying to, we're trying to better himself. So we're hitting the, really hammering this, repeating the theme, but it's,
I'm a hot mess and I'm working on it.
But I'm trying a little better and so in the end, he's kind of asking for another chance, which is maybe the saddest part of the, the whole thing. But, we have kind of our own little version of this. That's are we gonna go right into Floating on the Fourth, or are we gonna break between?
Maybe we should take just a light breath.
All right. Sometimes we do a weird like chord that we made up to transition between these songs, but today we'll not lay that on you guys.
Yeah, I can't quite remember it. We did it in the chord.
I'm working on my backwards walk, walking with no shoes or socks, and time rewinds to the end of May. Wish we'd never met then, met today. I'm working on my faults and cracks, filling in the blanks and gaps. When I write them out, they don't make sense. Need you to pencil in the rest. I'm working on drawing a straight line. I draw until I get one right. Bold and stark, girl, can't you see? I've done drawn a line between you and me. I'm working on erasing you. I just don't have the proper tools. You haven't thinking that you exist. There's no way I'm forgetting this. So I'm working hard on walking out. Shoes keep sticking to the ground. My clothes won't let me close the door. My trousers seem to love the floor. So I'm working on my backwards walk. There's nowhere else for me to go. I step back to you just one last time. Say yes before I change my mind. I say yes before you're the pin I'm knee deep in it. 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 Cleaned up the lyrics a little for TV.
Yeah, same with. If you
The
go
lyric
and you
is not "you're the pit and I'm knee deep in it." You can use your imaginations. we have some viewers ages 0 to 5, so
Correct. And in Modern Leper, the lyric is not
so messed up,
so messed up,
or too messed up to care. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You go and you find these songs and you search out "Frighten the Rabbit," which I hope you do because there's some really
Please do.
like old-fashioned. Oh my goodness, so good. Don't know if it's ever going to be a Trash Cats cover, but we could take a stab at it someday. This is us doing that. But yeah, if you go back and listen to these songs, like, that's not what the Trash Cats said.
Well, he's Scottish, so he swears adorably.
Right.
And frequently.
There are 2 O's in the F word.
I have a really hard time. This is after 5 years of doing Frank Turner covers and shaking a crappy Wessex accent. But I have a really hard time with some of these lyrics not doing a real bad Scottish accent.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's very difficult. And in fact, this song has one of the worst offenders for me in terms of things that I have a really hard time not saying with a dumb Scottish accent. So I apologize to Scottish people everywhere.
It's a couple Irishmen playing Scottish songs. What more could you ask for?
So the quote that we're going to talk about for a second here is a tweet that was sent. We don't really know how long. Hours, presumably, before Scott took his own life. And it's the tweet that I had posted the other day. I saw that you had shared it as well. But he, again, it's the same theme. He says, be good to everyone you love. It's not a given. I'm so annoyed that I didn't live to that standard. And that's sort of our theme kind of tonight. I feel like, and it's so friggin' hug your loved ones. Like
Exactly.
Is sort of how we ended with that, and that was it. I mean, Scott
was
was never
gone.
heard from again. And this song is sort of a weird one for us to keep playing because
it's so hard.
It became a self-fulfilling prophecy because the place where Scott's body was found is not far from the Forth Road Bridge, which we are about to sing about jumping off of now.
He wrote it, what, a year, 2 years before it happened? And it's like, yeah.
It's one of those self-fulfilling prophecy, type things that it's, but we were covering it. Did we cover this when he was alive?
No,
we did
Backwards Walk and Floating on the Fourth.
Oh,
it
that
was
right
for Homegrown
because
it had just happened.
Months after, yeah, that's right. So I was about to bail us out by saying we were covering this before it was this twisted, but
No.
Yeah, so this song it's one of my favorites, and it's another one that we've really changed to work for us. So if you do go listen to this, it doesn't really sound like this, but
We don't have a backup choir.
Yeah, he's got a choir, and the epic like sounds of their guitars, because usually Scott will have kind of a either palm muted or strummy acoustic, and then they'll have somebody inside doing those open octaves, and they just really can build a huge sound. They have drums and bass and stuff, of course, but they can build this huge sound that we can't produce, the two of us. So we've adapted.
We have, because we do make this our own, and having it our own version of a big sound. But just Floating on the Fourth.
Shut, I was vacuum packed, shrink wrapped out of there. The spine collapsed and the eyes rolled back, staring the starving brain. I know, right? It's a heavy one, man. And so the follow-up tweet was, "I'm away now, thanks."
Something about when we both come in on that second chorus after I hit that really high note on the fife of mine.
That's the lyric that is really hard for me to not fife of mine.
And
Yeah.
just belt it. It's like,
The other one was the manic gulls, because it sounds like I'm doing a bad Scottish accent and saying girls, but it's actually gulls. So, yeah.
I thought the lyric was an M8 hearse for a long time. I don't know why, but, you know.
Well,
Back in the old days, kids, we used to pull out the lyric booklets to learn the lyrics
know, right?
of songs.
you open the CD and you flip through the...
Thanks, Edward. Thanks, AI. Hi, Star.
That was that was one of my favorite Facebook burns that I've done in a long time. It's like, you meet him in person, the novelty wears off. Just as you guys were all having your little love fest on I'm like, come on, guys. What? Ed. Just Ed. Nah, man, I miss you, Eddie. Eddie and Johnny Blaze were like inseparable when I met those guys, and man, there was some fun was had back in UMD when we were not great music students.
Which explains why he's friends with so many of my friends, but still, it was really kind of funny to.
If you need a tattoo, go to Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you need a tattoo, go to Ed.
Definitely.
So we're going to do 2 more songs. Only one more Frightened Rabbit song, though. So as we sort of round out the theme here into the next couple songs, this song is not one that we play. Have we played this together before at all?
You played it solo.
I have done it solo, and I did it
on a ukulele,
on a
too.
ukulele on a stream once, yeah. Just a thing that I don't play enough of is my ukulele, and so I had gotten in that mood of like, I'm going to buckle down, I'll play this ukulele more, and I learned this song on it, and I couldn't play it for you if you paid me $1 million right now, but I learned it on guitar as well. But it's the sort of at the center of all of this is this this idea of tiny changes, which is now the name of the charity that is set up in Scott Hutchison's honor, but is also a lyric in the song Head Rolls Off, which we're going to do now. And it's just about, like, you don't have to make huge, impactful, sweeping, like, you can just, if things aren't going your way, like, you can make tiny changes and try to
do what you can when you
tweak
can.
things a little bit, and do what you can when you can.
And it was really interesting. I think maybe it was Chelsea Starr shared a post today that just hit exactly it. It's like, how many times do you let yourself think about if you traveled back 10 years to a certain point in your life and fixing this one thing, or people warn against time travel because they're afraid of changing one thing in the past that could change our whole lives now. We'll take the time travel out of the equation, make that change.
Yeah.
Make that tiny change to Earth. And like, oh.
And so I have a little quote from an interview with PopCap. Scott was asked what the song is about, and he said, it's not about relationships, just dying and leaving something behind. And PopCap goes, and this will make sense when you hear us sing it, is it about atheism? And Scott says, yeah, but it doesn't matter so much. You can believe in God or not. What matters most is what you do whilst you're alive, not so much when you're dead. There's nothing to be done then. Which I loved.
Absolutely.
So you'll understand very quickly why someone would ask if the song is about atheism when you hear the first lyric of the song, which is potentially my favorite Scott Hutchison lyric of all. It's certainly one of the ones that grabbed me immediately when I first started listening to these guys and was like, whoa.
What? Yeah, when I, yes.
So, a song I gotta make sure I can see. I need a little love on the lyrics for this one. As I said, we don't play it all that often or ever. So I'm gonna lower my mic a little so that I can see my computer. And I will I'll look at lyrics as I need them. Not for the first lyric, though. I know that one. Jesus is just a Spanish boy's name. How come one man got so much fame? To any pointless to anybody who doesn't have faith. Give me the cloth and I'll wipe my face. When it's all gone, something carries on. It's not morbid at all. Just when nature's had enough of you, when my blood stops, someone else's will turn. When my head rolls off, someone else's will burn. But while I'm alive, I'll make tiny changes to work. You can burn me, 'cause we're all the same way. Dirt in someone's eye, cry down the drain. I believe in a house in the clouds, where God's got his dead friends around. Painted all the walls in red to remind us they're all dead. It's all gone. Something carries on. It's not morbid at all. It's just that nature's had enough of you. When my blood stops, someone else's will. When my head rolls off, someone else's will turn. Make tiny changes to work. While I'm alive, I'll make tiny changes to work. I'll make tiny changes to work. Tiny changes to work. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. So make some tiny changes to Earth, y'all. They don't have to be big. You don't have to fix everything. You can't. You can't fix everything yourself. But
No.
just make some tiny changes.
While you're alive, make tiny changes to Earth. Just so simple and so
I
beautiful.
love it so much.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I find is in my head sometimes. and
Absolutely.
I know, I know it's been adapted for other. I mean, Chris Kelly often talks about his sobriety and tiny changes. Like, that's how you get to a point of sobriety. You make tiny changes. You can't just like wake up one day and go like, poof, I'm gonna kick addiction. Like, I'm just fine now. Like, no,
yeah.
you got to make these tiny changes and you got to work at it. And you make enough tiny changes, and it's gonna be a big thing.
Absolutely. Or yeah.
Both of our Capo songs today are Capo 4.
Interesting.
I think there are only 2 Capo 4 songs.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a little bit more time in E today than we usually do. There's a Stephen King quote from not Joyland, Revival, where the main character is a guitar player. He's like, and we put that thing on E. All that pit starts with E. He didn't say pit either, but all that stuff starts with E. Do we start with E?
Well, it was that close to being an all Scott Hutchison set. That close. But we figured we couldn't do a set about making tiny changes and trying to love ourselves and each other a little more without
doing our
Playing-
penultimate message.
Playing
of
Be More Kind.
More
Yeah,
Kind.
that's
And Scott and Frank Turner were really close mates, and he was devastated probably more than anybody.
Did
at
you
the loss
know?
of Scott.
I think I may have told you this before. The last tweet, before Scott's two tweets that we read earlier, is him retweeting Frank who had tweeted him to say how much he loved the All John record. And it was Scott being like, "Thanks." That's the last. So on all of these articles and Medium and everything, when Scott died, it's the those two tweets, of course, are screenshot, and then right above it is Frank.
Yeah.
And he had to just live with that on top of losing a friend, and everything was just like,
And Frank covers Head Rolls Off as well, really passionately, and it was heartbreaking to watch. He did that when he first started quarantine, before he started doing his quarantine streams of his albums. He did something for Scott, and
that was for Tiny Changes, wasn't it? I think it might have been.
Maybe it was.
But if you've gone to see Frank Turner since Scott died, every the house music between every band has been Frightened Rabbit for 5 years or whatever it's been now. 3 years. I'm bad at time, but
Well, the two that we went to, the one at not the Vegas, the V1 down closer to your folks, and then the Pantages. The next year, it's like everything in
the
between.
Varsity one.
Varsity.
Yeah. And then, I saw him 3 times in Boston too.
I suppose.
But yeah, so be more kind. That is our message always.
Absolutely.
And these are words that everyone should just try to spread around. If you're gonna make tiny change, if you're gonna make a tiny change, just try to be a little bit nicer to people, especially maybe people that aren't your people.
Right.
You know, sometimes we're all guilty of being. I'm very kind to Matt.
It's easy.
It's very
We're
easy.
our
We have
people.
but there are people that it's a little more difficult to be kind to, but you should still try and
We
just make
have-
that tiny change.
As a species, succeeded so much in returning to tribalism. Even though we all live in the houses next to each other, we have separated ourselves out again. And it feels like this will be the message I will say every day until the day that I die, forever. That's the easiest tiny change any of us can ever make. Be more kind.
History's been leaning on me lately. I can feel the future breathing down my neck. And all the things I thought were true when I was young and you were too turned out to be broken. And I don't know what comes next in a world that has decided that it's going to lose its mind. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. Started raising walls around the world now, like hackles raised upon a cornered cat. On the borders in our heads, between the things that can and can't be said, we stop talking to each other. There's something wrong with that. So before you go out searching, don't decide what you will find. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. You should know you're not alone. Trouble comes the dry land stands, it's hard to say. As the current drags us by the shore, we can no longer say for sure who's drowning and if they can be saved. When you're out there floundering like a lighthouse, I will shine. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. Like a beacon reaching out to you and yours from me and mine. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. In a world that has decided that it's going to lose its mind, be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind.